Good evening everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke, also known as the Yorkshireman Reacts, and I'm about to react to Series 2 Episode 3 of The Thin Blue Line, Fly on the Wall. This has been one of my favourite series so far, and since the beginning of Series 2 it has really stepped up its game in terms of the quality of the comedy and just, you know, in terms of how much it actually makes me laugh out loud and just lose it the amount of times. The previous episode, Ism, was absolutely hilarious. Just, you know, I lost it. It was fantastic, and James Dreyfus really stood out in that one. It was brilliant. I mean, all the characters are great in this. They're all funny for their own reasons. They all work. But James Dreyfus's character, Goody, he's just, oh, I love it. I love his character. It's so good. So, yeah, excited to get into this, see what's going on. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, then please give this video a like if you enjoy my reaction, and subscribe to stick around for more. If you'd like to get early access to these episodes without the annoying on-screen text and the background music obscuring your view and making it difficult for you to hear everything perfectly, then you can get this show on Patreon in the cheapest tier, which is $1 a month, and so many other shows. Oh, I already did that. Let's go.
Good evening, everybody. These days, it seems, people will do almost anything to get on television. Stand behind news reporters mouthing, "Hello, Mum." Deliberately buy yogurts that are past their sell-by date so they can complain to Anne Robinson. Or video their pets being knocked unconscious by garden swings.
You've been framed?
In the hope that the producer of You've Been Framed will believe it to be spontaneous.
Oh, do you know what? I remember that show, though. It was so funny. I mean, I don't care. I mean, you know, it's the same thing now. People do anything to go viral, and you can just tell by watching them. You know when something you're watching is fake or set up. You just know it. You just get the feeling, don't you? With You Been Framed, I hardly ever got that feeling. But I wouldn't care if they were set up anyway, because so many of them, the people in them were properly putting themselves in danger or hurting themselves. So even if they did set them up, fair play to them for having the balls to say, "Oh, okay, I'll do this to make a video." But yeah, I miss You've Been Framed. That was a great show. I believe it to be spontaneous.
Fame is the spur. But fame, as we shall see, is like an oven-ready frozen meal for one.
Oddly specific.
As nice as it looks.
Oh, right.
I've been looking through the number of firearms certificates you've issued in the last couple of years, Fowler.
Ah, yes. I think you'll find it comes to a goodly round number.
Yes, it does. None.
None?
No more, no less.
92 sponsored applications, none accepted.
That is correct.
In London?
Including the bloke I sponsored.
Or more accurately, particularly the bloke you sponsored.
Oh, right.
He is the chief todger of my lodge.
Oh, we're still on this from the
Swinging
last
my permit, I'm
episode.
gonna look a right dicky doodah, aren't I?
I do not approve firearms applications in order to prevent you from looking a dicky doodah grim.
Fair enough.
Besides which, I could issue the fellow with a cruise missile permit, and you would still look like a dicky doodah. It is not within my power to prevent you from looking like a dicky doodah. Only God or a large bag could do that.
It is your job to vet the applications. You're supposed to ask questions.
No pun intended, but shots fired.
Find out who's a suitable person to own a gun.
That's right. And
Shots
surely the
fired.
first question must be, does that person wish to own a gun?
Well, of course.
And if the answer to that is yes, then clearly that person is not a suitable person to have one.
This is the nanny state gone mad!
What, because I don't happen to think that a man who lives in a suburban semi needs an automatic weapon?
He's a sportsman!
Then tell him to buy a pair of plimsolls. Sport? Sport? When did you last see a wild boar in Gasforth? Or an elk? And if you did, dispatching it with a spear or an arrow would be sport. But deploying an elk-seeking missile is just cheating.
An elk-seeking?
is a civil liberties issue. You are denying my Todger his rights.
And what about the rights of those who do not wish to live next to an armed man? Particularly one who attends weekly secret meetings in which he puts on a dress and kisses a dead turkey's bottom.
We only kiss the turkey's bottom on special occasions.
All right, that makes it okay.
Normally we might do with a chicken nugget. I am talking about the rights of the individual here.
Which I consider secondary to those of the community as a whole. This town is a human nest. If you were an ant, would you consider it a matter of hymenopterous civil liberties that a socially dysfunctional worker ant be allowed to keep a pet anteater?
If it was securely muzzled and tethered, yes, I would.
Oh, would you?
Then clearly you are quite mad, Grim. Good day.
There he is.
Did you see Crime Watch UK on the telly last night? God, it was good. Sometimes when I'm watching, I think, ooh, that looks so exciting. I wish I was a copper. And then I remember I am one, which is so silly, isn't it?
Well, I don't approve of this current broadcasting trend that turns police work and video surveillance into entertainment. Actors train for years to get the chance to appear on the television. But why do they bother? Just steal one and you'll be on the following night. I remember when there were other things on the television. Grumpy Scottish doctors. And dictionary games. There's marvellous royal variety extravaganzas with puppeteers from Prague who you weren't supposed to be able to see because they wore black jumpers. Timeless stuff. Clean, wholesome.
Boring.
Well, yes, perhaps slightly boring. I confess I normally made a cup of tea when those Greek men who jump onto each other's shoulders and end up standing on top of one another in a great big pile were on. But it just made Cliff...
I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. But it's clear, just by listening to him, if he had his way, all television would still be basically the schedule in 1975. Minus Mind Your Language. And any comedy show.
Even better.
It's no good harking back to the past like a sad old git, sir. TV's changed. People like police shows.
But they're so predictable.
I
There's
do.
always the two officers. They don't get on, then they do get on. One of them's fat and gruff, the other one's thin and posh. One's a sad old drunk, the other one's a health fanatic. One of them's a woman, the other one's a Martian. One of them has 4 heads, the other one's allergic to heads. If there were as many police officers on the beat as there are on television, the country wouldn't be in the state it's in. These TV twits should come along to a real station and see what it's actually like. Sergeant, whatever is the matter?
We're going to be on the telly!
Calm yourself, Sergeant, calm yourself. Now, what is this nonsense?
This fax came for you, and
A fax to me, Sergeant?
Yes.
Then I presume that you do not know its contents.
Oh, of course I do. I always read your mail.
At home. At home you do, Sergeant. But at work you wouldn't dream of reading the private communications of your commanding officer.
Oh, all right. Have it your own way. What's in your fax, Raymond? I wonder if it's something exciting.
Good Lord, we're going to be on the television. The Chief Constable has been approached by the BBC to do a fly-on-the-wall documentary about a police station.
Oh.
He wants to know if we'd agree for it to be ours. Now, this needs some very careful consideration. For the time being, I think it'd be best if we didn't tell CID, because you know what'll happen.
Derek Grim on gas for CID! Come on down!
He knows.
Just as I feared.
Have you heard, fella? We are gonna be stars! Limos, posh birds, no more queuing at Sainsbury's. I reckon we should cut a single. Starsky and Hutch did it, didn't they? Come on, silver lady, take me home. And Kojak, he had a bash. If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint?
Look, be quiet, everyone, be quiet. Starsky and Hatch and Kojak were fictitious policemen. The BBC want to make a documentary, not Gasforth PD Blue. The whole purpose is to show policing in the raw.
Do you mean nude policing?
Now, we have to give this very careful consideration. This type of documentary can ruin people's lives. There are countless examples of people opening themselves up to the camera, only to discover that the subsequent exposure leaves them lost, empty, and bewildered. Now think about it. Seriously. Do we really want to bring that kind of confusion and heartache on ourselves?
I want it. You know, businesslike. Because I'm a police officer, it's got to be totally sensible. Severe almost. You know, practical and absolutely no nonsense. But also, I'd like it just a little bit really sexy. You know what I mean? Just a hint of ravishing. A nod towards drop-dead bonkable. So you got that? Sensible, no nonsense, absolutely gorgeous.
That'll do for me too.
Yes, and me.
Ugh, God, he's ugly.
Do you reckon my face is a bit saggy? I mean,
Just
go
a
on, tell me the
touch.
truth, absolutely honestly, as a mate. What do you think?
Well, you know... No, not really.
Oh, come on, don't pull your punches. Give it me absolutely straight. Is it a bit saggy?
Maybe just a touch.
Well, thank you very much. Blooming charming, that really helps my confidence, that does. I'm fat. I'm grotesque. I look like I'm resting my jaw on a stack of crumpets. I am a vast, unsightly, wobbling mound of lard. I can't do it well. I simply can't face the cameras.
Sir, you look lovely. Superb shape. The girls will go potty.
Do you really think so? Honestly?
No question. Birds love a slaphead.
A slaphead?
Well, like you were saying, sir, Kojak. The girls will be queuing up to lick your lollipop. I tell you what, if you're worried about your chin, there's a couple of tricks of the trade I learned off a bird of mine who was in telly.
I never knew you had a girlfriend in TV, boy.
Oh, yes, sir. She was a stroker.
A stoker?
No, sir, a stroker. On Sale of the Century. She used to have to stand there in a bikini and stroke the prizes. Lovely she was. I used to watch her every Saturday, stroking stuff. Sets of cookware, crystal decanters,
Let me guess where this is going.
lawn mowers. That girl could stroke anything you put in front of her.
Really?
How we get onto that?
Oh, yes, sir, I was telling you, a little trick of the trade. Light. That is the secret to looking good on the box. Got to get light under your chin. Otherwise, you...
That's very true. Light hides a lot on camera. That's how they used to, if a TV presenter had something come up on their skin, they just used the right sort of lighting and it'd cover it up.
You see, you get a shadow in the crease where you get a big wobbly flap of fat is.
How am I going to get light under me chin, boy? Stand on me head, the lights are on the ceiling.
Well, for instance, sir, you've got a mirror there, right? There's light coming through the window, right? When the camera's near, slip the mirror onto your desk, chin over it, bosh, underlit, beautiful. There you go, you've lost a couple of pounds already.
By the way, just a quick heads up. If any of you like the M&Ms that are just chocolate in the middle, with the crunchy sugar shell, Aldi do their own version. I didn't buy these. Me grandma's sister sent this and 2 bottles of Lynx as a birthday present, just as just a customary gift, because she sent a card with some money in. But she sent these as well, and they're actually really good. So if you like chocolate M&Ms, these will do nicely. As you are.
That's the way, Gladstone. We'll show those
communists from the BBC that despite the pernicious influence of their puerile police dramas, the British Bobby still believes in the very highest of standards.
Wait a minute. No, it's not chocolate M&Ms, is it? It's Smarties. These are more like Smarties. But M&Ms do a chocolate thing version, don't they? My favourite are the ones in the blue bags with the like crunchy biscuit bit in the middle. Oh yeah. And they did a limited edition version a few years ago where they had a bit of caramel in them as well.
Standards.
You know, sir, I was nearly in show business once before. Oh, yes, my mother was very pushy. Well, I suppose all mums think their kids are beautiful. But the interesting thing is, sir, I actually was. A gorgeous little fella. Big eyes, big smile, chubby little cheeks.
Yes, I think I get the idea.
And the purest of pure soprano voices. I could curdle milk while it was still in the cow, sir. Anyway, one day Radio Trinidad advertised for a boy soprano. It was my big chance, sir. The whole street turned out to see me get on the bus. Young Frank Gladstone going to be a star, they said. And I would have been, but for two things.
And what were they?
My testicles, sir.
They dropped.
They dropped on the way to the auditions.
Yeah.
I still believe that if that road had been tarmacked, I would have got away with it. I was going to sing "Oh, for the Wings of a Dove." I had to give them Old Man River instead.
The BBC not here yet? Good. There was a terrible queue at the chemist's, but I thought the occasion warranted a new comb. Patricia, have you got nits?
No, I haven't got nits. I've had my hair done. I'm trying to look nice for the telly.
Patricia, the whole point of this exercise is to show us as we are. What sort of example are you setting to the constables? Gobs of gastric gas, Happy! What are you thinking of?
What?
Your legs, you naughty girl. They have no business being here. Get rid of them.
It's an image thing, sir. It's about personal empowerment. It's about me being the me I want me to be.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, Constable, you're talking complete donkey twaddle.
I am not talking donkey twaddle, sir. I have an obligation to be a role model, to show young girls that being a strong and in-control woman does not mean denying my essential femininity.
Or to put it another way, you want to look nice on the television.
I think it's my duty, sir, as a feminist.
Really? What has got into you girls today? Vanity, thy name is woman. You will spend your next break taking your skirt down. Constable Goody.
Good morning to you, sir.
Come on then.
At least you've come to work looking respectable.
Why,
Okay, off.
thank you.
Oh my God, Constable Goody's been jedwooded. What the hell? I knew
At least you've come to work looking respectable.
Why, thank you.
Evening all, Detective Constable Cole. TV's sex cop. Always ready to get on the job.
Sir. Sir, you think it's all right if I wore my father's Trinidad police dress uniform?
Now listen to me, all of you. This is a serious documentary about serious police work. We will present ourselves as God made us and as the Queen expects.
What's grey away, Raymond?
Hypocrite, much?
Grey away? I have no idea.
Oh, really?
Looking a bit grey. Feeling a bit old? New grey away will make you look 10 years younger.
Good Lord, I must have picked up someone else's bag and boots. Good Lordy Lord. Good Lordy Lordy doo-dah ding dong day. Chit.
You know, this character with his funny phrases that he says, you know, what in the name of the devil's briefcase? Great jumping Jehovah, you know, all that. He's a bit, you know, he's got a bit of the Ned Flanders in him. You know, that's what it reminds me of. That element of his character reminds me of Ned Flanders.
Someday.
Especially that.
Chit. I'll take it back.
Good lordy, ordy, that bit.
Messages, Happy?
What?
Well, it was just a thought.
The BBC! They're here! They're here! Another opening, another show. 5 minutes, please. I'm going out to constable, but I'm coming back a star. I can't.
Sorry to interrupt. But I just know someone's going to pick up that toothbrush with that dye on it, thinking it's some sort of charcoal toothpaste that whitens your teeth, and they're going to put it on their teeth and they're going to go out and they're going to look like that bloke out of Ace Ventura when nature calls, when he goes, ah! You know, gingivitis is the #1 cause of all tooth decay. Oh yeah.
5 minutes, please. I'm going out to constable, but I'm coming back a star. I can't go on. Do it for the troops, kid.
I love him.
Do you really think I can dance, Mr. Weinfeld? Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Oh, I shall send you home and you won't be on television at all.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Now go and tell them I'll be straight out.
Knock 'em dead, kid.
Oh God, he won't be able to talk.
Ah, good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. Bob Tuff, direct.
It's like that episode of Friends when Ross puts too much teeth whitening gel on. Oh no, he don't put too much on, he leaves it on for too long. Leaves it on for a day. Where were we? Just close.
Hector. Inspector Fowler. Inspector.
Right. We don't exist. We are not here. You are unaware of us. We go where we please. We shoot what we please. If you feel you wish to explain what you're doing, by all means do so. Understood? Good. Roll camera.
Oh, my river.
So, now let's just forget these television people and set about our business. Gladstone, put those juggling balls away. Now, the knife
He's trying to get noticed, isn't he? He's trying to get scouted or something.
and weapons amnesty, which we've been running, has been at least a partial success.
Excuse me.
A hacksaw blade. A corkscrew.
A corkscrew?
And a vicious pair of toenail clippers have already been handed in.
Knife amnesties are a waste of time, sir. They're just publicity stunts.
I
Where have you been doing your knife amnesty? Buckingham Palace?
will not have you belittling our achievement, Habib. This corkscrew could cause a very nasty wound.
So could a gas cooker, sir, if you dropped it on someone's head. Perhaps we should have a kitchen appliances amnesty, sir.
Now listen here, you naughty... Goody, have you got gum in your mouth?
No, sir. Just pretending to chew. I want to look tough for the cameras.
Now, you be careful with these media
Right,
people.
Goody. Let me just make something very clear to you. You could have gone to a tattoo parlour and had fucking same tattoos that the Bloods or Crips have tattooed over them in America and put on the same amount of muscle as a UFC fighter. You still wouldn't have looked tough as long as you've got that on your head. What has he done to his hair?
People, Goody. They're all smiles until they pounce. I shall never forget going along to the Antiques Roadshow. When I slapped my family jewels on the table, the man just laughed. I've been up all night polishing them as well. Deceitful and underhand, a lot of them. Well, I know their game. Those Trotsky-eyed BBC swine will have to get up pretty early to catch me with my trousers down.
Oh dear.
Have you got a twitch, Goody?
No, sir. I just think you should be careful.
Oh, don't you worry, boy. I've got the measure of those pernicious snakes.
So they're probably very nice people, sir.
No, don't you be fooled, Gladstone. Debauched dimwits, the lot of them.
They could be anywhere, sir. They're very sneaky.
Ha! After years of gorging themselves
He's
on
not
vast
taking the hint,
lunches
is he?
at the licensed payer's expense.
True.
You can smell their beer-soaked, tobacco-raddled meat and pudding flatulence at 100 yards. At least that's what I'd heard.
All right. Rowan Atkinson is always a win.
Very quiet day, this. Very quiet indeed. And normally our time would be a blur of drugs, violence,
Oh wait, the chin thing, right? Yep.
pornography, illicit sex.
Of course, sometimes we have to do a bit of work as well.
Nice one.
We've received a phone call from a concerned neighbour. An elderly gentleman lives here. The curtains haven't been opened for a few days and he may be in need of assistance.
Tango, Oscar, Bravo. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Approaching house. Old git inside. Could be dead. Will investigate. Over.
Old git inside! Approaching house, old git inside, maybe dead, we'll investigate, over.
Will you please shut up, Constable Goody?
Great guys. Such joshes.
Now, the old gentleman may be timid and fearful of strangers. I myself am highly trained, but if you could perhaps step to one side of the door. No, I think actually the other side's my best side. Thanks.
Right, standing to one side now. Purpose to avoid scaring silly old sod to death, if not pop clogs already.
It's not pop clogs already!
Gemma.
Gemma!
Angels 1-5, bandits at 6 o'clock.
Kevin, shut up!
You're a fucking copper! You're not the Red Baron! This isn't the Battle of Britain!
Right, shutting up now.
Bandits
Now,
at
you get
5
to the side
o'clock!
with the camera,
Dive,
Kevin.
dive,
I don't want you
dive!
messing up your shot. I mean, we don't want the old bloke getting nervous with too many coppers.
Yes, you're right. I suppose I am a pretty intimidating sight.
Not even close.
Hello, sir. We've had a phone call. And I believe...
I wanted a nurse.
Well, sir, I've been highly trained. Perhaps I can help.
Oh, yeah, all right, you'll do. Looks like you've got lovely big uns under that
Well, there's no call for that.
Mr. Opleton! Mr. Opleton, I'm from Love Passion Massage.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid you're too late, love. I've decided to have the policewoman.
I think there's been a misunderstanding.
I'd love to have you both, but I can't afford to on me pension.
Can we have it off now, please?
Oh, I'm just getting my teeth out.
Oh!
Surprisingly quiet day, this.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Grim required. Diamond theft. Drug deal. Motorboat robbery. Grim required. Grim required. Must have Inspector Grim.
No.
Did you hear that, Boyle? Let's go, go, go!
Go where, sir?
Grim responding. Wilco. Bravo.
He don't even know it either, does he?
Vimto?
Well, we're only a small town station, but in the modern age, we face all the problems of a big city, really. Oh yes, policing a town like Gasforth is no longer just a question of making sure that people have lights on their bicycles.
Sir, here are 3 more bicycle bylaw infringements, sir.
All right, Gladstone, just put them on the desk.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir, there is one other matter. One of our police dogs has got no nose.
Well, that can't be right.
What?
How does he smell?
Terrible.
You know what this is starting to remind me of? It's starting to remind me of the Still Game episode when Blighty's Hardest Boozers comes and records in The Klansman, and they're just, you know, well, they're basically doing this, but for that show. Oh, God.
I've had a few. But then again, you know, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way.
I've been a very good boy. Yes, you have been a very bad boy.
Bad boy?
I mean, bad boy.
It's chaos!
People have driven this station mad.
Yep.
Thank goodness you at least have maintained your sanity, Patricia. Could you pass the
What's she
chicken
gonna do? Tap dancing.
Right,
Really?
That's it. The BBC are leaving immediately.
I heard there was a television crew here today. I want to get on telly.
Oh, really? And what is to be your contribution to this great democracy of television? Perhaps you've grown a rude-shaped turnip.
I've got this. Where's the telly, people?
Drugs, murder, prostitutes. Totally ordinary day, this. It is a jungle out there. Not a real one, obviously, a metaphorical jungle, but that is just as scary, particularly if the metaphorical lions and tigers are actually real armed villains. Yes, grim. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in the real jungle, the lions and tigers weren't saying to each other, it is Gasforth on a Friday night out there.
Really?
Sir,
I'm sure they are.
Hello, grim. Yes, for you.
Tough.
Tough.
Would you please hand over that weapon? I'm wearing the Queen's trousers and I'm in danger of soiling them.
Oh, you'll get it all right. Where's this camera, then?
Shoplifting, jaywalking.
Inspector Grimm, Raymond's in danger. There's an armed man at the front desk.
An armed man. This is it. The sharp end at last. I'll unlock the gun cupboard. You lot, cover me with the camera as I run in. Make sure you get my full expression as I shout, police, freeze! Boy, you hold the torch. Do you think I should take off my shirt?
Have you ever really thought about what television fame means? Sir?
He's on NCIS now.
Oh, yes, it's fine for a while.
Oh, the bill.
You and your
the bill.
scatter cushions in
British.
Hello magazine. The chance to talk publicly about your dandruff. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
But then suddenly, the tide turns against you. Suddenly, Richard and Judy are no longer taking your calls. You find yourself in carpet warehouses shouting Open New Year's Day. And then just when you thought you could sink no lower, you appear at the door of Noel's mansion in crinkly bottom. Is that what you want?
No.
No one does.
Then hand over the gun.
Well, we're easy. Oh, he stole his thumb.
Freeze!
The crisis is over, Grim. I talked him round.
The fact that he's holding the top.
That's a rusty old service revolver. It's completely harmless.
Yes, I dug it up with my root vegetables. I thought I might hand it in to your weapons amnesty. I thought I might get featured on the news.
A non-functioning firearm, and I took my shirt off for that. Blimey!
Yeah.
Still,
I mean, you shouldn't really be taking your shirt off for anything.
you couldn't have known, foul eye. Can't deny you showed a lot of bottle.
You were incredible, Raymond. And on TV, too. You'll be a hero.
Oh, no, really. I'd far rather no fuss was made, honestly.
Well, you're in luck. We didn't get any of it. Inspector Grimm insisted on us covering him exclusively.
Oh, well, never mind. It's probably for the best.
What, so he's gonna...
Unless you'd like to do it again, sir, for the cameras.
Really? After all that protesting, turns out all along you was into it.
Oh, yes, please.
You slippery old bastard.
Yes, he'd like to do it again. Yes, he'd like to do it again.
And then after that, I could show you my disgustingly shaped turnip.
No, thank you. Oh, it's over. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Well, I must say... Hold on. Never anything at the end of these, is there? Okie dokie. Well, that was a very good episode, wasn't it? That's bright. Blimey. There we go. Something a bit darker. Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was so good. So funny. Just, you know, when it started showing us what they were all doing to try and show off on the telly. The women in the salon, you know, getting their hair done. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that seems pretty standard. I mean, that's not really a joke. Women like to get their hair done. For an occasion's an occasion, so they'll do something with their hair. You know, that's what women do. I mean, my grandma, she'll comb her hair and make sure that it's nice before she goes into town. That's what women do. They like to look presentable. But when it started stepping up a level, and then we saw the women coming into the police station with their new hairdos, yeah, fair enough. And then he stepped in. I mean, that colour, it wasn't blonde or white, like a silvery white. It was the sort of colour that sheep wool or lamb's wool is. You know, it has that kind of yellowish tint to it. It was that kind of colour. That was one hell of... I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, just the colour was out of this world. I mean, I've had rugs that remind me of that in my living room. Oh, what an episode. This is one of the best I've ever seen. I don't know if it beats the previous one. Again, here, James Dreyfus again. A joke he made in the last one, you know. I've got a hilarious joke about Uranus. He's so good. I love James Dreyfus. He was such a standout in Gimme Gimme Gimme. He's such a standout in this. And, yeah, he's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, Rowan Atkinson, you know, obviously he's good. He's a national treasure, so I expect... there's always a level of what you'd expect with him. With James Dreyfus, it's not like that. Because he's not on the level of Rowan Atkinson. Not many people are. But because I've seen him in Gimme 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 before this, I expect something. But even so, he just still manages to surpass it. He's so good. So funny. His facial expressions, you know, the way he acts, the way he talks, the way he does it all. He's just... It's a bit like how, you know, it reminds me a little bit in a way of how Rick did it. Rick Mail, you know, just puts absolutely everything into the performance in the moment. Not one bit of energy is wasted. Not one single muscle in the body is left unused to act out that comedy moment. That's what it is, you know. Yeah, fantastic, brilliant episode, loved it. So, I guess that's the end of that one. There's only 2 series of this, which is a shame. I think, am I right in thinking that if they wanted to, they could bring this back? All the cast, original cast, are still alive. Because James Habib were very young when this came out. Rowan Atkinson's still... he's making a new Johnny English. So he can make a new one of these. The bloke who plays Grimm, I'm guessing he's not that old. You know, even Rudolph Walker, he's still in EastEnders. He could come back. I mean, obviously not as a copper, but I suppose he could come back and they could have him as like the retired, wise old ex-policeman with all the knowledge and wisdom, but every time that he imparts that knowledge and wisdom, it just turns out to be along the same lines as whenever he's talking in the, you know what I mean? They should bring this back. They definitely should think about bringing this back. Someone needs to get on the phone to Rowan Atkinson and say, right, we want to bring Thin Blue Line. I'm telling you, they could remake this today. It's not offensive. It's not, it doesn't push too many envelopes, so to speak. And I want to see James Dreyfus back on the telly as well. Because he's just too funny not to be on telly. I mean, well, I wouldn't sully him by putting him in any of the shite excuse for comedy that you get these days anyway. But if you put him in a remake of a classic from the 90s, like Gimme Gimme Gimme, you know? Oh, God. They need... we all know they need to bring that back. But Jonathan Harvey said it himself, he won't bring it back. I spoke to him, he's on Facebook, you can add him. I spoke to him about it and he said, I just can't do it because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be the same show, But with this, I think they could bring this back. But then again, I think some of these, like Ben Elton or whoever, the people that were making this stuff in the 90s, we just need to say, do you know what? Fuck the rules. We aren't going to bring... We're going to do a remake or a comeback of the show that we used to make, and it's not going to be torn down in any way. What are they going to do? And they should start with this. Then gimme. Matt Lucas and what's his name are thinking of bringing Little Britain back, but they're too afraid to do it. Saw something on Facebook about it today. They're too scared to do it because of feelings and political correctness. Just, yeah, bullshit. Anyway, I'm rambling here. Yep, that was episode 3. Very funny. Enjoyed it. So thanks for everybody for watching. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And check out the Rumble channel to get access to a lot of stuff on there that normally was only on Patreon. But I've started putting things on here now. So Keeping Up Appearances, that was a Patreon exclusive. You can get every episode of that now. Every reaction I've done from episode 1 of the first series up until episode 5 of the second. There's also a few episodes of Bottom, also on Rumble. Again, it's like Patreon. There's no on-screen text or background music or anything like that to get around copyright. It's absolutely fine. Limmy's Show, eventually every episode of that will be on here too. There's also The Office, episode 1, reaction, and Derry Girls. So go over there and have a look if there's any content on there that sticks out to you. And I'll be putting more stuff on there as well soon. And check out the Patreon as well to get access to all the stuff that's on there, exclusives, early access. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Good night.